Hey, this is the Daily Overpass. My name is Eric and I make apps. Now today we're going to talk about coming up with app ideas. Alright, so today I want to answer a question that came in ages ago from Lynn Scott, who said, "Hi Eric, I would like to know what you have to say about how to find good ideas for apps. Your experience having hundreds of apps for sure give you an advantage of knowing what app could be a chance, potential market appeal, tech complexity, resources, innovation, etc. How can we evaluate an idea objectively? Thanks." Now, I've talked about this before. I put out a lot of my own apps. Some of them do really well, a lot of them don't. So I just want to put that out there. I am not an app ideas guy. I don't generate ideas all the time. I don't want to say that because a lot of times when people call me, they say, "Eric, I'm more of an ideas man and I'm looking for a developer," and they'll just rattle off all their ideas, and it's just, you know, it can be overwhelming at times. Right? So this is one thing I hear all the time, and because we have Overpass, I talk to people with app ideas all the time. They'll call up and it's usually the same kind of thing. It's like they'll say, "I've been looking around and nobody's doing this," or they come up with a completely unique idea or something they think is really unique. Sometimes I've been able to go in and find that same app concept like within minutes on Google Play or on iTunes, and they're like, I can't believe it, someone must have stolen my idea," right? Which is pretty funny, right? And then sometimes, so then when I show that to them, they go, "Oh, I can't do it now," you know, so whatever. And the thing that always gets me about that is like, I hate people I hate copycats, and I talk about this all the time. You know, my apps have been copied like by, you know, and I'm talking more about visual imagery, copying the brand and all that kind of stuff. But the concept, I mean, people copy concepts all the time. You know, this is we value the app idea too much, where we think it has to be completely 100% unique. Now, one of the things I do when I try to think of new ideas, or even when I'm talking with clients, it helps a lot with clients when they come to stuff, is just knowing the building blocks of everything you have to work with. You know, you have, you got all the stuff that web has, but you also have the camera, you got GPS, you've got all the different sensors, you've got iBeacons, you've got cloud services, you've got maps, you got all this kind of stuff. And when you think of all those, it's like being in a kitchen and knowing what everything you have, so you know what you can cook, right? So a lot of times when you're coming up with ideas, you just have to know what those are. And a lot of those, you know, just as app developers, we know what those are anyway, because that's what captivates our minds and everything. But when it comes back to app ideas, I don't think it has to be totally unique, right? It just, when you look at all the things that we take for granted today, you know, Walmart, McDonald's, iPad, I mean, you know, all the big brands, all the big companies, you know, they're not necessarily the innovators of those things. I mean, they're innovators, well, incremental innovators, but they weren't the inventors of them. You know, Ray Kroc didn't invent the hamburger when he started McDonald's, or when the McDonald's brothers started McDonald's. You know, Steve Jobs did not invent the MP3 player. Apple didn't invent the MP3 player. They didn't invent the computer. They didn't even invent the graphical interface, I don't think. That was Xerox, right? So, you know, and you know, Windows didn't invent Windows, right? Walmart didn't invent retailing. You go through and you read some of this stuff. They didn't invent them, but they found a market and they capitalized on it. Because this is one of the things, right? If you do something that's completely and totally new, you are not only building something that hasn't been built before, but you have to build a market that's not there before, right? As I think as developers, a lot of times we think it's the idea that matters. As normal people, they think it's the idea that matters. You know, I get the most calls after there's been a big news story about, you know, some big acquisition of something. Like Flappy Birds made things go crazy. The fart machine made things go crazy. That's when everybody thought, I could come up with a better idea than that. But it's not just that. It's a lot of the marketing and all that kind of stuff and everything. So I know, Lynn, that's really not a really good answer, but I think just because I hear app ideas all the time, I don't put as much credibility into the idea itself as I do with the person's capability of actually going out there and promoting it, of having the enthusiasm to make it work. And, you know, because there could be apps out there, or there could, like, let's think about social media. There could be social media platforms out there that are way better than Facebook, way better than anything else, but nobody knows about them, so they don't take off. So I hope that makes sense. I hope that's not being too negative today. Anyway, it's a beautiful day out here today. I hope you guys have a great day. That's it. I'll talk to you tomorrow. As long as I'm still